What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason and Joe here. Album of the Week, the series in which we review albums selected by our patrons. This one is coming from Adrian, and we're going back to 1964 for this one. And someone in the Discord alerted me to the fact that even considering like the 30 plus albums that we did in season one, this is the first time we're doing a 60s record somehow. We are talking about Ain't That Good News by Sam Cooke, one of my favorite vocalists of all time. I'm actually not sure that I ever heard this in full, though. I listened to both of his 63 albums for the 63 deep dive, gave both of those 4 stars. I can't imagine going lower than 3.5 for his voice alone on just about anything he could possibly sing. So I was expecting great things here, and pretty much got them, but I guess I'll give you a chance to say what you think of it first.
All right. Well, I think this is a good album. This is his last one that he made in his lifetime, or that was released in his lifetime. And it's a solid record. This kind of sees him coming into his own a little bit because, of course, he wrote A Change Is Gonna Come, and this is on this album, and that is his definitive song. He wrote it himself, which is pretty impressive. Um, and it's now known as one of the great protest songs, one of the great societal injustice songs, written in response to Bob Dylan's Blown in the Wind. And kind of, it didn't shame him, but he was like, if this white honky can write a song that good, I need to write something that reflects the world around us. And so he came up with one of the greatest songs of all time, and The Change Is Gonna Come. And it's really the centerpiece of this album. It's split into 2 sides, which I know you don't like. The first side's a little more of the party stuff. Side 2 is more of the ballads, the anthems, the standards. And he wrote a lot of the songs in the first half, which is cool. Shows him stretching out and becoming a better songwriter. And it's a damn shame that he'd never have a chance to further his songwriting, because with a voice like that and him starting to develop his songwriting skills, could have been something special. So this is kind of the best we get of that. As for me, I like his voice a lot. I don't love it as much as you. I still think it's phenomenal, obviously, and I don't think it ever sounded better than On a Change Is Gonna Come. And I really like side 2, I think, more than side 1. I don't think he's quite there as a songwriter as far as like the party bops go. Another Saturday Night and Good Times. It Ain't That Good News. They're good, but they're not like fully fleshed out and fully developed. Change Is Gonna Come, obviously perfect. And then he does a bunch of standards, Falling in Love Home, Sit in the Sun, No Second Time, and the Riddle song on side 2. Got that big orchestration that comes in. Production's great. You got some Hal Blaine on drums, stuff like that. Great players all over the place. And those side 2 ones where he's just like, wailing away and the orchestra comes in and it's just big and, moving and incredible sound. I really like that. Side 1, not quite as much, but I mean, it's still a 4-star album for me pretty easily. I don't know if I like it more than Night Beat. I think Night Beat might be my favorite Sam Cooke, but uh, nothing beats A Change Is Gonna Come. So this is kind of right there with it.
I agree with a lot of what you said. I am not a huge fan of splitting, slow songs, happy songs, upbeat songs, however you decide to split the record. I'm not crazy about that. I think a record should flow and it should have ups and downs, and dividing it into 2 halves like that almost never works. And I don't think it entirely does here either. I'm with you. If I have to choose one of the styles, I prefer the ballads. I think that showcases his voice more. I think it's more soulful singing. The orchestration shines more, all of that stuff. However, I think there's a place for those songs if they were those upbeat songs, if they were woven in a little more seamlessly. This is the record where like he got more control. He was able to, he wrote more of the material. And the stuff that he didn't write, he had more control over choosing it. He had more say in the players that played on the record. I still have this like feeling, though, a little bit that there's like spots on the record where I feel like the producers or the industry behind him or whoever it is has a little bit of a hand in things still, where like especially on like Tennessee Waltz, where it's so upbeat, and I think it's maybe the worst version of that song I've ever heard. It doesn't work. His voice is still great, so it's still like immensely listenable, but just the decision making there just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like it's not even a waltz. They do it in 4/4, and it's just, it's kind of silly. I don't know. So I think, looking at it from an artistic standpoint, I don't think it's like a 5-star record. There's some things about it that I would change or that maybe feel a little awkward. But the voice is so good and the tunes are good. Like even though, Another Saturday Night's maybe like not the greatest piece of songwriting ever, it's still really hooky. It's really catchy. It's a fun listen. So I'm not going to dock it too much for those tunes. So I'm at 4.5. I like it better than both of the 63 records. A Change Is Gonna Come is incredible. One of the great pieces of writing. You said he never sounded better, which may be true on his studio work, but some of the live stuff, I mean, he can really, really get at it and really get kind of like down and dirty. And he doesn't really do that. And that's like another thing where I feel like someone's telling him to hold back. Someone's kind of keeping him restrained. Or maybe he knows to do that because he's trying to play to white audiences or something. I don't know exactly what the case is, but there's just a little, like, I know there's a little more in there in Sam Cooke. So yeah, 4.5 for me. I think it's a fantastic record, but not quite a 5-star album. All right. Well, if you know this record, let us know what you think of it. Great timing as well. This was, I think the anniversary of its release was like 2 or 3 days ago. So yeah, let us know what you think of it. Is it a 5-star for you? Drop it in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you've not yet done so. Hit the bell for notifications. Check the video description if you'd like to join Patreon. It's a long wait list to get an album on the channel at this point, but we'll get to everyone eventually that wants to participate. So check it out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.